Crazy Susie.
And we are in the Eyes of Terror. And it's that time of year again. And it's just steamrolled us again.
We're getting there.
Yeah. So it's the Halloween haunting month. Seemed like we just
Time for spooks and ghouls.
pumpkins, pumpkin spice everything. Pumpkin spice edible underwear, pumpkin spice Uggs, pumpkin spice socks, pumpkin spice.
How did all that manage to find its way in the same sentence? I'm not sure.
Pumpkin spice Oreos, pumpkin spice eggnog with more pumpkin spice.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Pumpkin spice whiskey, pumpkin spice beer, pumpkin spice water. Just wait for it.
I agree. There is a lot of pumpkin spice flavored things.
And some things that don't need to be pumpkin spice.
There is a lot.
It's absurd amount of pumpkin spice and things.
Yeah.
Absurd. It's also,
There is.
at least it's finally cooled down here in good old East Tennessee.
In the South.
Yep. Have we done anything fun for Halloween? No.
Not yet.
No, unfortunately not. No haunted houses for like 3 years. We haven't had the money to do that. Makes me upset.
Well, but we're doing our Halloween movies.
Yeah. And this year we've really aimed for top quality. Top quality. On a free service.
Only the best for you guys.
Top tier.
Tubby TV.
So, alright. Honestly, I don't know what order we're going to put these in, to be honest. I feel like this one deserves to be done, like, released either on Halloween or Halloween night. Before Halloween or Halloween night, what do you think? Just because it's Halloween night, 2006.
Right.
Found on Tubby TV. 1 hour and 25 minutes. We are not sponsored by Tubby TV, but that'd be awesome if we were.
We do a lot of films from there.
Fiji water. The greatest water. If you watch Tubby TV, you will get your fill of Fiji water ads. Sometimes back to back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty good service. I can't complain. And it's free.
Not bad for free.
And you're not paying for it to have ads.
Right.
Right, so I guess what are you eating is more of a question than what are you drinking.
I'm drinking Dr. Pepper, but I'm also eating Dr. Pepper cotton candy. So, they call it Dr. Pepper. Yeah.
No, I haven't tried any. No, I really don't look forward to it.
Well, you know, it's the season for candy, so I'm just trying to get a head start on it.
Yeah, this year's been really hard to find that not the autumn mix, the maple mix or whatever.
The maple candy corn is the
Yeah.
only candy corn that the bunny man will eat. And I've had an impossible task of finding it. Can't find it anywhere.
Honestly, if I was going to eat candy corn, I would eat a candlestick because it's the same flavor and the same texture. And at least if I eat a candlestick, I'll be good in an emergency.
I don't want to have that analogy, so what are you drinking?
I'm drinking water with hops in it. I'm drinking
I wonder if it's from Fiji.
Yeah, pretty sure it is. But it has some hops in it, so. I am drinking Black Abbey, which is one of my favorite beer companies. It's out of Nashville, Tennessee. Unfortunately, we don't get it out here.
Visit the mother-in-law and get beer.
Yeah, I actually turned her onto it. So, but I have my brands I like out here too, so. I'm going to try to go more local. I am at the will of pack places that are not paid by the bottle.
Yeah.
So.
Flat rates expects.
Yeah. And I go one up that's from like up the road, and they usually have a pretty decent selection. They don't do a lot of local stuff. They're getting into it though. So this is one of my favorite ones, so I'm quite biased. So this is not a first tasting, unlike the most of them. This is called the 44, and it's a porter brewed with coffee. And the coffee, I think, is also local to Nashville. So they source everything, like in Chattanooga, a lot of people source their stuff from like local businesses around Chattanooga. It's the same with Nashville.
Yeah.
And I like that because it gets just that sort of like that feel. It contains 12 fluid ounces. It's a can.
Black Abbey is pretty distinguishable. I think all that come in is cans.
Yeah. And they have like an arch with the name. They have different colors, and then some of the more specialty ones, they actually have a checker. And they have a strict no pumpkin beer. So they will never come out with pumpkin beer. I'm not upset about. And all I'm seeing is the general... Anyway, I'll just pop it. It's a very dark beer because it's a porter. So this is a very smooth beer, and you can almost instantly taste the coffee on the tip of your tongue. But it's a good coffee. It's not like a bad low grade quality like a lot of beers will put in, and you really don't taste a lot of hop in it. And it's a smooth all the way down. It doesn't have a weird aftertaste. What I like about it is the coffee stays on your palate compared to the hops. So, and all their beers sort of do that. They have they're smooth, and then they don't have a weird hoppy aftertaste or lingering taste.
They're not real bitter because of the hops. Yeah.
So if you can find Black Abbey in your area, definitely try them out. Or if you're ever in Nashville, go check them out. They have a pretty good flight deal. I did one of those the last time we were in Nashville, and I enjoyed pretty much every second of it. There's like 3 beers I didn't like, but they make an IPA that I really do enjoy.
Which is weird.
Because I hate IPAs. Alright, so back to the movie. We are doing Halloween Night 2006, and you want to...
It is not rated. It is listed as a horror film. IMDb gives it a 3.9 out of 10. The director is Mark Atkins. The writers are Michael Gingold and David Michael Latt. The cast is Derek Ashtach is David Baxter. Rebecca, I'm not sure, plays Shannon. Scott Neary plays Chris Vale. Sean Dury plays Larry. I'm not sure why they do this. They give some characters first and last names and others not. That irritates me. Anyway.
And it doesn't really matter because, yeah.
Alicia Klein maybe plays Tracy. Erica Kessler plays Angela. Amanda Ward plays Kendall. And the rest you can find on imdb.com.
Shall I do the intro thing?
I didn't do the prologue.
Okay. Do the prologue. I can
Do you
fit.
know what the story's about?
It's about stuff on Halloween night.
So the film follows Chris Vale, played by Scott Neary, a young man who was wrongly convicted of murdering his family in 1982 and admitted into an insane asylum based largely on the fact that Chris had been found with bodies by the police. So that's the basis of what the film is, and it goes from there.
The following story is based on actual events. There, I did it right now. Woo! Alright, we open up on the house. We hear kids trick-or-treating. Then we hear a woman scream. Then we see 2 men.
The woman's being physically assaulted.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to say that nicely. Because there's...
As her husband is watching, she's being physically attacked. When the guy he is finished attacking her, he shoots her in the head.
But not good enough.
And her husband asks, "Why did you kill her?" Jerry said, and he doesn't even finish his sentence, and the guy says, "I don't care what Jerry said, it's over with." The woman moans.
And he orders the assistant to kill her, and he shoots her straight in the head. The bullet passes through the skull and hits a steam pipe that the kid, who was previously under the bed, or the couch or whatever, magically appears behind. And
Well, during the altercation where the woman was being attacked, because the boy was under it, he gets upset, so he pushes himself farther back behind it, and then there's steam pipes there. They're in a basement.
yeah, it was sort of hard to figure out that part for me. I just don't know why.
So they're in a basement, and...
But the thing is it pans up to an attic. Like, from the initial, intro to the film, it pans up to an attic.
It is kind of strange how this cabin is laid out, but they're in a basement, and so the boy is hiding because his mother's being attacked. And in his mind, his father and his mother are basically under fire. There's these assailants that are trying to hurt his parents, so he's hiding. Well, the mother gets shot again. The bullet goes through her skull.
Hits the pipe.
The pipe. and the boy is kind of hiding there, tucked in between the two pipes. It hits the pipe, bursts the pipe, and he gets sprayed by the steam from the pipe, and it burns him.
Yeah.
Steam is one of the worst burns you can get.
And then then we fade out on the guy, and he's wearing a pretty just plain white mask, generic mask, and
yeah, like a featureless white mask.
And then
both of the assailants are wearing that kind of mask.
And then we are looking at a sanitarium 10 years later on Halloween. Next, we see a disfigured man, and he's pretty tall, pretty tall. Mm-hmm. The orderly comes in and terrifies him with a very similar mask of just a nondescript white mask. I guess this is a pattern with them that they keep tormenting him with masks. They keep saying it's fake. There's no, it's all bull.
Halloween is fake. There's nothing to be afraid of.
But Chris, the disfigured man, flashes back to the night his mother got killed, and then he attacks two orderlies. He backhands the crap out of one of the orderlies, and then he decides to, which is the second kill, rip out one guy's throat. It's very trauma-esque the way that he did it, because it was just like bone doesn't exist now as he plunges his hand and rips out this guy's throat. So I give it a 3 out of 5. Just because it's very trauma-esque. Other than that, it's pretty uninteresting. Next we see the credits, and we find out that this film is brought to you by the highest of quality films, Asylum Studios. The music is generic, and we see flashes of a man in a mask in the background as they do that grainy film stuff, and then they try to meh. Next, we are seeing a group of people at a house. One guy is setting up a drawbridge. Some people pull up in a car. They're giving me a look.
There's a cabin in the woods. Friends come to help out their friend who is having a big Halloween party.
I wasn't trying to spoil it was a Halloween party. I just wanted some rando guy in the woods by a cabin putting up a drawbridge. That's a normal behavior for people.
Okay. There's a reason why he's putting up the bridge.
Because he wants to make sure that the moat is secure.
He's a troll. Gotta answer his riddle to cross the bridge, man.
Yeah.
Stupid troll.
And it starts getting late, and we see two guys hacking out a plan for an epic scare, because it has to be extremely epic.
Extreme.
It's got to be up to the next level.
You didn't do
that. And then we get the obligated girl on girl action. And we see our first titty shot. I give them a 4 out of 5. They're middle-sized, perky titties. Of course,
they were quite small, actually.
Yeah, they're on the smaller medium size.
They were quite perky, though.
They were quite perky.
And the nipples were okay.
Yeah, it could have been worse. I've seen worse horror titties. And of course, they get interrupted, so they can come and help, because I guess this is the first time that they've had it alone, and one is awakening to her.
No one is shy.
But she just found out she's attracted to girls, and she wants to explore those feelings.
But she's shy.
So they go to a house full of people to explore these feelings.
But they're partners, like they're a couple.
Yeah.
And everybody else knows this because they beat on the door and they're like, stop flipping each other's bean and get out of here. Yeah. So they know.
They know, but I mean, I'm just saying, it's like, so this is the time the shy girl decides to explore her newfound sexuality, even though she's with a couple, in a house full of people on Halloween.
I don't recall them saying anything about newfound sexuality.
There was, because she was shy. I mean, like, this is the first time she's ever done anything. So, I mean, any time that, anything is newfound sexuality if it's your first time.
I didn't get that, but okay.
Well, I didn't get the first half of the storyline you had there. Like, I felt like we were watching two different movies.
Maybe you weren't paying attention.
I was paying attention.
Okay. So you didn't get that the host, David, goes to pick up Daryl.
I was going to. The host is going to pick up Daryl from the bus station. And he is a bit of a douche.
Who is his special guest? Who's the douche, Daryl or David?
Both.
Yeah.
But Daryl's more of a douche.
I don't know.
He's more of a douche at this point.
They take turns with the douchebag.
Yeah, they like to pass around the douche.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next we are in a car with Todd and his girlfriend, because girlfriend does not have a name.
Nope.
The girlfriend is checking out Todd's costume. She's going on how great it is, but it really looks like a reject from Spirit that you find behind the dumpster after they leave.
The weapons are cool.
Yeah.
Costume itself, not so much.
And then they're going on like the mask was so great. I was like, I've seen better. It's like an executioner leather mask that
It's
really
okay.
It's okay. And we see that Todd is carrying real weapons, which we find are illegal in that state of Canada.
Canada. Oi.
Hey. Because I don't know any state that has illegalized bladed weapons. Now, length is one thing, but bladed weapons. Because there was a cop there that was like checking cars to make sure that they were Chris Vale, and so he was freaking out, telling his girlfriend to hide his bladed weapons. And of course, Todd is freaking out, and he's trying to keep his cool, which is not keeping his cool, as the girlfriend is turned around in the car, not doing anything suspicious by hiding anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we find out that the cops are looking for an escaped prisoner, and they tell them to keep an eye out. Just put your head on a screw.
Yeah, and the cop showed him a photo of him. He's like, I won't forget that face.
Yeah. Next, the host takes Daryl to the house. And he shoves them in the basement so hard.
And gives him a pine cone for company.
Yeah. But it's a female pine cone, so.
And tells him, you better keep your cell phone on, because I'm going to call you.
And next we see Todd and girlfriend pull up to a gas station I've never seen before, outside of like historical pictures. He tells her to pump gas as he goes and changes into his awesome, epic, up to the next level costume that he got from the...
I half expected it to say corner gas on the sign.
That would have made it so much better, like Brett Come Out. That's on our Canadian TV shows. Yes, we watch Canadian TV shows along with British ones. Just better than American ones at the time. And then Todd goes to the restroom to get into costume. As he is checking out the mask, which he's just drooling over, the disfigured man comes out and
the crispy tater.
Crispy, they call him Crispy Tater. Emerges, scaring Todd, and he drops the box of goodies. Todd compliments the burnt guy, or Crispy Tater, on his costume. Todd realizes a knife is close to Crispy Tater, and he asks for him to just hand over his knife, which he obliges by giving it straight into the kisser.
Right in the mouth.
So that was a kill number 3, and I give that 4 out of 5. Because Todd looks surprised that actually happened.
He gives him a mouthful.
He's going to need some chapstick to de-chap those lips.
Bucket of lube.
Next to a bucket of blood. Girlfriend is standing by the car. The Crispy Tater puts on Todd's costume and hops into the car. The girlfriend wolf whistles him and then tosses him the keys. And the entire time, Crispy Tater is confused by the whole...
driving thing. I'm sure he's never driven.
Well, he's confused by the whole just sort of like wolf whistling, and then he gets in the car and he's like trying to figure out how to put the key in the starter and start it up, and...
Yeah, he's confused all the way around.
Yeah. At this point, the girlfriend is just slightly suspicious. I guess this is a normal thing for Todd to be slightly confused while driving.
Well, she said, I understand that you're all about getting into character, but, basically, do you have to be such a douche?
Yeah, passing around the douche.
Yep.
Would you notice if somebody else in costume would get into the car, and
I know what you look like, whether you're in costume or not.
But would you know if somebody didn't drive like I did?
I'm not going to hand somebody my keys.
And then she gets into costume, and they have an argument with Todd, quote unquote, about his driving because it's a subpar.
Erratic.
And amateurish. quote unquote Todd, finds the mini X, and so the girlfriend starts complaining that she has a stomach ache, and Todd helps her out by plunging that mini X into her stomach multiple times to help.
He opens her up to help her relieve some gas.
Yeah, and so that's kill number 5.
He couldn't help but relieve some tension because she kept on complaining about his driving. He missed a turn. She complained about that, and she was like, "You know what? Just pull over and let me drive." And
no,
he just snapped.
Yeah,
he snapped.
Yep.
Couldn't take it anymore, poor guy.
And so yeah, I give it a 3 out of 5. It was there. I'm sort of glad that she was gone, but yeah, she didn't mean anything in the story.
She was nameless.
Yeah. Next, it's the big night, and we see a guy dressed up as a troll with his trust flask, and he lowers the drawbridge and asks his riddle for entry, but he gets mobbed rush because they didn't think it through. Because I guess he was supposed to ask everybody the riddle to get entry, and
yeah.
And he was just going by orders, basically, and then this is when we start seeing that, what's his name? It's not Todd, it's not Daryl. What's his name? Ed?
Who?
The main guy.
David.
The
host?
Yeah.
David
is like yelling, he's being a douche now, he's yelling at the... And they had this whole like big ceremony thing because it was supposed to be this knight's court,
yeah.
Theme. Yeah, theme thing. And then we see the party gets underway. And next we see a storm's on the horizon. And we see the 2 girls getting dressed and talking about marriage. We find that's David's girlfriend, and they're talking about marriage, and then we see that Larry, who's dressed up as a jester,
yeah.
And he's just your like atypical nerd guy. He's looking at the computer, and he finds out about the escaped Christopher Vale, and we find out that the mother's body disappeared, and the father committed suicide, and the kid was badly burned and ended up in a nut house. So that's the backstory. Oh, and then we see the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
I got things screwed around.
It's okay.
Of the party, and it's just a lame fantasy thing. David gives his girlfriend a locket that he found. He wanted to see if it fit.
It looks better on you than it does me.
Because I tried it on, girlfriend.
Thanks.
But he wanted to make sure it fit. Because a necklace, unless you have like a big beefy line neck.
You have a skinny neck. Wow.
Then David rings Daryl to come up in 15 minutes, which he does, in all his douche glory. One guy recognizes him because I guess he's part of a band that played the next town over. And then David makes that guy go away.
Go to his house and get that stereo they were talking about.
Yeah.
Changing out his stereo system.
Then we see Crispy Tater, known as Todd, pull up on that poor guy that has to go to get his stereo, which I would just go to another Halloween party. Crispy Tater decided he had enough of the guy talking because the guy was like complaining that he was parking too close, which didn't even look like that. And
he said he blocked him from getting out, and he was like, "Dude, you need to move. You're in the way." And he just...
And Crispy Tater decided he had enough. He thought that that mask needed something, so he decided to put his own little spin on that mask, and he put an X straight in the middle of it with some blood squirting out.
Stereo guy is out.
The stereo's gonna play no more.
Down with the mic.
And then Daryl is making his rounds of douchery, and he hits on one of the girl. What? Go ahead. What did I miss?
Directly after he kills Stereo guy, the Crispy Tater goes up to the troll, and the troll says he must enter.
No, that's later on.
The riddle. So he finds a loophole. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Daryl's making his rounds of douchebaggery. He hits on one of the girl couples. People start complaining, stuff like that. And at this point, I'm not sure what the point is. Next, we see Crispy Tater come up to the troll. The troll asks the riddle. Crispy Tater decided the answer to the riddle, which is the answer is a key. But Crispy Tater decides that he doesn't like to use keys, So he'd rather use a long metal sword right into the middle of the troll's head. 3 out of 5. So far, pretty much all these kills have been pretty lame. So far.
Well, after he stabbed the troll, he kicked him, which knocked in the drawbridge.
Yeah, so 3.5 out of...
That was cooler than actually stabbing him. He was just like, oh, get off my sword!
Yeah.
There's a troll on my sword!
Now we have Crispy Tater entering the party. He has another flashback and kills just kills a random guy dressed like a reject Aladdin, and just because he just can.
2 random dudes.
I thought it was 1.
2.
Okay. 2 randos, and then
6 and 7 gone. No troll with 6. 7 and 8 gone.
Then he meets the host's girlfriend, which Crispy Tater visions is his mother. He enters the party, and David thinks he is Todd. At this point, everybody thinks he's Todd.
Everybody thinks he's Todd for a long time.
Yeah.
Until that mask comes off, then they're like, oh my god.
At no point did they go, you're not Todd.
Nobody knows Todd very well, do you?
I guess not. Even his own girlfriend was like, I think you're Todd. To how much he's committed to the party, and David thinks he is Todd. He starts to berate him that he's late and stuff like that. Crispy Tater starts taking out his mini axe to take care of a few things. And the host freaks out, going, don't do that. Why do you think you're doing that? Stop being a douche. David confronts Daryl, causes a bit of drama. Canadian drama? This whole point, everybody's really nice, but they're trying to be Americans. They're trying to be like douche Americans, but there's the underlining feeling of niceness there. It just doesn't come across convincingly. And then David calls for Todd. Daryl pulls a gun and demands that Todd drop the axe. The cops enter the party, and Daryl demands the cops' gun. Which, okay, the cop hands over his gun. So that's how that works.
Yeah, that would never happen.
Then Daryl, Todd, and the cop get out of there.
Not at the same time.
But not at the same time. Everyone's in tears. Oh, the cop asks for the host's car to go after Daryl because Daryl steals the cop car. At this point, somebody actually called the real cops, and the real cops come in. We know he's a real cop because he has a chip on his shoulder. He has a cheap clip-on tie. We all know real cops, clip-on ties. So then David spills the beans about the whole prank. Dave's girlfriend and Larry didn't like the prank. Go figure. We find out that the real theme was psychological horror. And then the cop breaks up the party. Next we see Daryl and Todd are chilling on a back road. We get kill 9.
Daryl's 9,
yeah. He,
Yeah, the college buddy Daryl and Crispy Tater pull over. And he says, man, what's your problem? You almost blew it back there. I wonder if anyone will be left when we get back. Crispy Tater pulls the gun on him. It's fake, so nothing happens. He asked, what's your problem? And then he pulls the seatbelt down and he chokes him with it.
And then he plunges the sword just for safety.
Well, he pulls him out of the car and then he stabs him with the sword.
Yeah. You're going to guess the rating I gave this one.
Pretty low.
3 out of 5. Next we see David and his girlfriend having an argument about what happened. His argument was lame and it doesn't work because he said it was like a roller coaster. He was trying to justify it, and he was using a roller coaster as an example. It didn't work out because him and Daryl were the only ones really on the joke. Next we see the fake cop pull up on the car. He gets pissed because it's a mess and it's a rental. Crispy Tater comes out of the woods.
It's not a rental, he borrowed it from his brother or whatever.
Okay.
Brother-in-law, somebody that's
it's basically a rental.
It's borrowed from an actual cop.
Yeah.
It's worse than a rental.
Yeah. He decides to greet him with a spear to the stomach. Hi, how you doing? Here's a spear. I give it 3 out of 5. Next we see David offer his friends to stay the night. Next, we see David offer for his friends to stay the night, but they ask that there is no more pranks. Which he says there's going to be no more pranks. We see Chris Potato come back to the house, or we see a girl riding a monk.
A dude dressed as a monk.
Yeah.
In the basement. He's drawn to the noise.
Yeah. We have another titty rating. I give them a 2 out of 5.
Yeah, they were sad.
They were large breasts, but they were pretty droopy.
But they were bouncy.
Yeah, they were saggy.
But she was more of a butterface. What?
In her voice.
He asks her to stop by, bedding it in her back while the guy dressed as a monk tries to escape, but Chris Potato asks him to stay, and we get kill number 700.
Nope, that's 10 and 11.
By throwing the axe into the middle of his back. So
They both get axed.
Yep.
They get axed real nice.
And downstairs, the friends are cleaning up, and the girl asks...
That's upstairs.
Or upstairs. Downstairs, upstairs, overstairs. The friend's cleaning up, asks to stay the night. Then Larry, basically his girlfriend's going, I'm going to go take a shower. And he goes, so are we going to take a shower? And he gets shot down.
Oh, Larry.
Oh, Larry. He needs a leisure suit. He leisure suits Larry. Maybe we'll have some luck then.
You mean a loser suit, Larry?
No, Leisure Suit Larry is a game from like the 80s.
But he's a loser, not a leaser. He needs a loser suit, Larry, because he's a loser.
Then the host girlfriend goes...
Her name is Shannon. Shannon goes to the basement because she's hunting for Todd. She saw Todd go into the basement, so she's going down to the basement to see Todd.
Okay, we can stop it with your weird Wisconsin accent. No.
Don't like it when I make voices?
No, I don't mind it. I don't like it when you make it that Wisconsin accent.
Why?
There's reasons why.
Okay.
So Chris Potato comes in. He starts joking Shannon, but he sees that locket and lets her live one more time. Then we see the two girls undress, start making out because breasts and retention.
They're alone again.
I really think the reason why they did it was because of breasts. And you still want to watch this movie, don't you? Because we have breasts.
Ta-tas!
And then we get another titty rating, which is 3. The blonde has small, perky breasts. And she has very white areolas. Like ghost areolas.
Well, her skin is porcelain.
Yes.
So...
I give them a 4 out of 5. Because I like porcelain skin.
Her skin is porcelain. So her areolas are not much darker than that.
And then the brunettes are larger and also perky. So they're a 4 out of 5. Together they make an 8.
Okay. Crazy thing.
Our breasts combined, we make mega boob. Next we see the host Shannon tied up.
She's handcuffed to the bed under the dead naked girl who is drooling. She screams. So, what did we start calling her?
Crispy tater.
Crispy tater. I want to say deep fried tater, and I knew that wasn't right. Dang it!
Deep fried crispy tater.
Don't make it worse. So Crispy Tater, he hog ties her and stuffs her mouth with dirty underwear.
I'm pretty sure she's done that before.
Possibly, but not from a dead chick.
Better.
And he drags the dead girl away.
Next we see Larry, his girlfriend, taking a bath and eating something. Larry interrupts her to...
Cake.
Who eats cake in a bathtub? Who eats cake? Who eats cake in a bath?
If you take a hot bath, you can actually burn calories.
It's still cake.
Skinny girl logic. Take a hot bath, burn calories.
Okay, but this actually grossed me out because she was like doing that yum, I can't watch food shows.
Luna concurs.
Larry interrupts her to tell her something, but she wanted alone time. She wanted some time with that showerhead.
She's like, can it wait until I get out? I guess.
Larry finds out that it was the same house that Crispy Deep Fried Tater.
The cabin they're in is the same cabin that Crispy Tater lived in.
Dun dun dun! Didn't see that one coming, except for all of us did. Where the Vale murder happened. As he talks to himself, Todd shows up, or Crispy Deep Fried Tater shows up, and he decides to kill him.
Well, he's telling this to Todd. He says, "Hey Todd, did you know this is the cabin that Christopher Vale grew up in?"
I sort of at this point when Christopher Vale goes, "No man, I didn't." That's why I'm back.
Did you see his face? It's a wonder he can freaking breathe. They probably don't have a tongue. You have to have motor function to talk.
Really?
His face looks like freaking beef jerky.
Actually, I've seen beef jerky look better than his face.
That's sad.
That is sad.
You look like old man balls dehydrated on a hot day.
Why did you have to say that? I have too much of a vivid imagination for you to be telling me crap like that.
It just came out.
That's nasty.
It was just there, just.
Chris Vale dressed in Todd costume.
Then he kills Larry, the man who knew something. And we just
Who knew too much.
we just see his reaction. Then he is dragged off by Crispy Deep Fried Tater. Next we see Larry, his girlfriend, in the bathtub. She's thinking that Larry's just playing a prank and gets discouraged and goes back to her bath. Because if she's not a human raisin by now, I don't know when will she become. Because like half this movie is her in the bathtub. As she's in the bath, Crispy Tater comes up behind her and she thinks it's all a joke until kill number 13, 12.
Something like that.
And Crispy Tater decided that he likes the red water. Slices her throat open and she dies as he throws the towel on her face. So I give that a 3 out of 5. David is calling the fake cop. Then his girlfriend, Shannon, is reaching for her phone while crying, which is just right out of reach out of her tiny little pocket, out of her tiny little shorts.
I don't understand why he couldn't hear it, because it was ringing in the same house that he's in.
Because that would ruin the movie.
David walks in on Tracy and thinks it's a prank. He screams for Larry.
Then then David beats on the door and says people are dead. And the two girls think it's all a bad joke, and they just basically want to see them naked and run out and dismiss it till Todd, our deep fried tater, comes barging in through the window. The brunette starts beating up a deep fried tater while the blonde runs away. David finds out the killer is Todd by the blonde, who goes back into the house. The brunette is successfully beating up deep fried tater while he finds a
The blonde doesn't go back into the house. The blonde runs out to Shannon's car.
Okay, so who runs back into David?
David runs back into the house.
Okay. I just said
Because he said that's Shannon's car, so he runs back in to find Shannon.
Okay.
And she pleads with him not to. See?
I did, I just...
Your care factor was low.
Yeah. Beating up Christopher till he finds a hanger. And we get kill number 14. And he plunges the hanger into
He puts it beside his head.
Yeah.
And then he grabs her by the back and then pushes her head like he's trying to, like, chest bump her. So when he does that and he has that hanger beside his head, then it pushes the hanger into her eyeball.
Which is a wooden suit hanger.
Mm.
Not a plastic flimsy one. You get it from whatever Canadian Walmart is.
Yeah. No, Canadian Walmart is Walmart. Walmart's everywhere.
Or really bad Canadian Target.
Target's everywhere too.
No, but Target in Canada is really bad. They have like hardly anything. That's the joke.
Mm.
So they may have like a hanger in Canadian Target. Next, David gets a gun, finds dead Larry, and finds his girlfriend, or Shannon, tied up, cuffed up, whatever, and tries to help untie her, but he gets clocked in the head with a baseball bat and passes out. Deep Fried Tater covers her eyes with a piece of cloth, plays around on her face with a dagger. Then he starts having flashbacks about his mother because of the locket.
Where her body is hidden.
And he remembers seeing his dad hiding the body of his mother. Dun dun dun. And then he goes and retrieves it because he put up a fake wall. Like there's a closet and he put up a fake wall.
So he breaks down the makeshift wall and uncovers her remains.
But have you noticed something that sort of irritates me about this? That room looked like no other room in that entire place because it was all like brick and stuff. Like it was just out of place. It just sort of bothered me a little bit.
Well, that wall was like paneling.
Yeah. But the closet wall was not. It was
like shiny looking.
Yeah. At that time, Shannon realizes she is somewhat...
She uncovers her eyes.
Yeah. She realizes she's somewhat free and tries to reach for the gun. Deep Fried Tater is having a touching moment with the corpse of his mother. They had a nice little reunion. He put her on his lap, told her how his day was. She patted him on the back. They had a nice little cry. She was covered in cobwebs.
Are you serious?
She asked what he wanted for Christmas. When Shannon walks out with the gun, shoots him in the head with the gun.
No.
Yeah.
Right there, she empties the entire gun in him because he falls over his mother's skeleton.
You mean the magazine of the gun?
Right, whatever. She empties the whole gun into him.
Yeah, the whole magazine. Which is like 3 bullets.
Right. He falls over his mother's skeleton. The cops come. The paramedics come. The cops say they have 3 men out looking for her boyfriend. She sees the body bag raise up, and she goes for the cop's gun.
Because reasons.
And shoots it. The cop goes over and opens the body bag. It's her boyfriend.
Not David.
So she shot David in the head.
Whatever did happen to Deep Fried Tater? Well, we go find out that Deep Fried Tater made a makeshift mask of a paper plate and doesn't know upside from downside of a face, and he goes just walking down the road because
it's the highway that they came in on.
Yeah, so the cops aren't. There's only like one cop in the whole area.
Yep, you see him walking down the mountain road with that paper plate mask upside down.
And then we see that there he gets the guy comes and picks him up.
A guy stops and gives him a ride.
Yep.
And he says, "Well, damn, looks like you had one hell of a Halloween night." Then they drive off
into the sunset while holding hands.
Well, that doesn't happen. They just drive. And that's the end.
All right. What's yours?
A 3.5 out of 5.
It's a 3.5 out of 5. It's the same thing.
Why did you give it that score?
Yours will probably be shorter than mine.
Most characters have little to no development or no name. Many details are very predictable. Overall, the basic premise of the film was okay, but it could have been fine-tuned a bit. I thought Christopher Vale's character his makeup was awfully wonderful, and I liked that he never said a word.
Okay.
I'm not done.
Okay.
I didn't quite understand how Daryl was supposed to be Christopher Vale the time that he came in, because it was all pre-planned, but it seemed like the Christopher Vale escape was a last-minute thing. But they had already pre-planned this party and the special guest and all that. Like, he went and picked him up from a bus stop.
Well, maybe possibly they were planning on something else
And then the Christopher Vale thing sort of fell in place.
But Christopher Vale was burnt and everything else, so it didn't make any sense.
I know.
It just...
That's the only sort of...
It just didn't make any sense.
I was just saying that's the only thing that they just, like, sort of, like, opportunity fell. I don't know. It doesn't. But go ahead.
That was all. That just didn't make any sense.
Mine. This film is all over the place. There are so many subplots to the point that they forgot about character development. The characters are one-dimensional and unlikable. I don't care if they got killed. I also felt the actors were really nice, but were told to act like douches. Canadians acting like Americans. The makeup was lame and had only one expression of ugh. The costume looked like the reject dumpster pile after Spirit closing. The pacing is an issue and makes the film dull. Overall, there is nothing new about the story, and we have seen it all before.
So it doesn't bring anything to the genre. I'm not trying to be a douche about everything needs to be bring to the... It just feels like a repeat.
Alright, so the story behind the true story thing is, behind the film, was David Michael Latt, the man in charge of Asylum Pictures, used to throw Halloween parties. And one time a person escaped from an asylum during the annual Halloween party, and the partygoers were scared that the escapee would visit them. And that's it.
No one died. Nothing. But the escapee didn't even come to the party.
They were just afraid that it would happen.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious.
That's all
That's all the true story.
Makes your head hurt, doesn't it?
That's if make-believe was true.
Yeah. Any last remarks?
No.
Okay. Again, you can check this movie out on Tubby. Don't take our word for it. Check it out yourself.
Yeah. This is another one of those that I would definitely view before you allow young children to view it.
Oh, so in this
it is not rated, but
this movie is better done in group. That's actually how I first saw this movie. We had a group of friends that would go to do these movie nights every Sunday, and we watched this movie, and we made fun of it. This is how you should watch a lot of these movies.
we make fun of a lot of movies that we watch.
Yeah. So, but it's, as a single viewer, I wouldn't find much enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Like, if I was taking this film for serious, I wouldn't find joy out of
We
it.
take the rift track approach to a lot of films that we watch. So.
Well, we have to, or we would just drive ourselves nuts with how bad these movies are.
Yeah. They're pretty bad. So.
But we watch them, so you might watch them too, maybe, possibly, if... or not.
But you don't have to.
You don't have to.
Well, we'll scare you later.
Bye.